Welcome back, and we hope you enjoy finding out more about our beautiful and highly productive 5-year-old passive solar greenhouse through this in-depth tour. If you have any queries at the end of the tour, then just stick them in the comments section down below. The greenhouse is used to grow tasty fresh fruit and vegetable produce for us here on our plot in Mid Wales in the UK. We grow organically, and you can find out more details on our greenhouse harvests in our annual update videos. So let's start looking at this gorgeous greenhouse up close. Size and aspect. The greenhouse is 35 feet long by 12 feet wide and sits on a slightly sloping site on a hill high above the banks of the River Severn. The site is oriented west to east, which means that the greenhouse's long glazed side faces directly south, which really helps optimize growing conditions. It has a concrete block back wall built into the south-facing hill to provide stability and strength, but also to retain the heat of the day and release it into the greenhouse during the colder nights. This means that the plants are extremely well protected from inclement weather outside. There is then a substantial timber frame to hold up the other walls and roof. The glazing is of polycarbonate panels which provide great insulation and can easily be cleaned. They let in loads of light but are incredibly strong and have survived many storms already, including Storm Babette in 2023 and Storm Dara in 2024, to name just two. Doors. There are single, partially glazed doors at the front and rear of the greenhouse, which really helps with ventilation during summer hot spells, as both doors can be hooked open for the breeze to blow through. The front door opens outwards and is on the same level as the path leading up to the greenhouse, which is great for access with a wheelbarrow. The back door opens inwards and there is a concrete block step up to the hill outside. This is just the way things turned out because we built into the hillside. So access is not so easy from the rear, but it is well used as the compost bins are located just outside here, and also the pallet table for hardening off young plants. On the back door is a small wooden vintage door storage unit made by my dad in the 1970s, ideal for keeping boxes of chalk and screwdrivers, for example. The screws on the window stays sometimes loosen and need tightening. Windows. In total, there are 6 windows in our greenhouse, 4 along the south-facing side and 1 each in the front and rear of the greenhouse alongside the doors. These are essential for increasing ventilation during warmer spring days and hotter summer days. They do depend on people being around to open and close them, but as we are in and out of the greenhouse most days during the growing season, this isn't really an issue. If we do go away in the summer, we generally leave all the doors and windows open to ensure there are no overheating issues. In the winter, all would probably be shut. In spring and autumn, we would just review the upcoming weather forecasts and decide accordingly. For really hot days, we have our bespoke window extenders, recycled sections of our old polytunnel hoops, which can be slotted onto the metal window latches. This allows the windows to be opened much wider for increased air circulation. A brilliant piece of repurposing, even if we do say so ourselves. One thing we do have to take care of in spring and autumn is that we don't shot birds into the greenhouse. Birds love poking around in here, especially in the autumn months when there are often ripe figs for the taking. Rear wall. As mentioned, our concrete rear wall is a brilliant way to retain the heat of the day and release it during the cooler hours of the night. However, it is also ideal for training plants. We have 3 bays in the greenhouse between the 2 concrete pillars. The first one is where we grow our dessert vine, Flame. The second is for our peach tree, Rochester. Both have been trained along wires and on this south-facing wall soak up endless rays of sunshine, which encourages fruit to ripen and be juicy and sweet. Cucumbers are also often grown up the pillars or in amongst the vine, where they too thrive, although they prefer less heat than other crops we have discovered. At the top of the block wall we added ventilation openings with removable covers just below the roof. These are removed during the main growing season for added ventilation in the greenhouse. Path. During construction of our greenhouse, we added a curving concrete path and a small concrete pad at the far end of the greenhouse for the addition of the workbench and storage area. In the winter, this path looks quite wide. It was designed specifically to take a wheelbarrow easily between the beds. In the summer, the path is often completely submerged in plants, which we reluctantly cut back to make sure we can still access the greenhouse. The hard surface of the central path is also ideal for safe use of stepladders in the greenhouse. We quite often need these to set up strings for the tomatoes and even for harvesting crops such as climbing French beans, and safety is paramount. There are also 2 short offshoots from the main path. These are gravel paths and help split up the garden beds to make them more accessible for planting, weeding, watering and harvesting. Workbench and shelving. The large timber workbench is a thing of beauty for a gardener. It is 11 feet long, 2 feet 3 inches wide and 3 feet high, with one large shelf beneath for storage. The top surface is covered with a bottom layer of black plastic, then a middle layer of thick pillory matting and a top layer of weed membrane to keep things tidy. The membrane is very easy to brush down. In spring, the bench really comes into its own as seeds are sown and watered. As they start shooting, the bench receives an influx of young seedlings which have been started in the house propagator and spent their first couple of weeks of life sitting on sunny window ledges. Once they are in the greenhouse, they can grow tall and upright at last. There is a potting up tray on the far edge of the workbench where we keep all the things we need for sowing seed, including labels, pencils, the Wedgwood ivy seed cup, secateurs, scissors, gardening gloves and so on. Underneath the bench on the shelf are many stocks of pots and seed trays of differing sizes for sowing seed and potting up. Here we also store plastic covers to keep mice off new sowings, the wooden box we use for harvesting in the greenhouse, and various other extremely useful items such as string and kneelers. Tools such as trowels and small hoes are generally on the bench too, or not far off, or lost temporarily in a veg bed. Garden beds. Altogether, we have 4 garden beds in the greenhouse. On the south-facing side is a long, narrow bed leading from the front door right up to the workbench. On the opposite side, we have 3 large, wide beds. These garden beds were all built once the main greenhouse construction work was completed in 2021. We removed tons of stones and small rocks from these beds, which went to make the path leading up to the greenhouse. The beds were then lined with river rocks to raise their height and topped up with a mixture of topsoil and compost, as the thin soil in this location is very infertile. Each of the beds has stepping stones, either flat rocks or old quarry tiles, to help us further reach into the beds and prevent the need for stepping on and compacting the soil. Early each year, these beds are refreshed with homemade or bought-in compost or manure to help boost the fertility, ready for the start of the new growing season. There are very few weeds in these beds currently, as very few weed seeds have been introduced. Initially, there were very few slugs too, but numbers are now increasing as the years go by and they find their way into the greenhouse. We also occasionally find ants nesting in the beds, but so far these have not been a significant problem. Growing frames. We have 2 large growing frames on our south-facing bed. We made these of concrete reinforcing mesh panels used primarily in the building sector, attached to hollow metal rods. The frames were dropped down over strong metal bars which had been sunk into the ground to make sure they stayed upright and rigid when covered with heavy crops. These frames are ideal for growing squashes and small pumpkins, which creep up the mesh by themselves, as well as tomatoes, which can easily be tied in. They basically provide a vertical growing space and allow more produce to be cultivated in the space we have here. Plants grow upwards towards the light, leaving the greenhouse bed below for other crops, such as salad leaves and potatoes. On the opposite side, we have a hazel wigwam support, at which we grow our annual climbing French bean crop. We have to use plastic bottle cloches to stop the mice from eating the seeds. Irrigation system. Early each spring, we reconnect our irrigation system, which, once set up, automatically waters the greenhouse beds each day at a specified time for a specified period using drip pipes. The water is from a spring on our patch. This is pumped up the hill and stored in an enormous recycled juice tank and then fed by gravity down to the greenhouse tap and irrigation system. This irrigation system is a real boon to our greenhouse growing, and we would definitely not want to be without it. Early in the season, when the first seeds are being sown, we just use a couple of watering cans and haul the water up from the house, as there is always the risk of frosts here, which isn't good for irrigation system plumbing. However, once the days begin to lengthen, we really would struggle to cope without the irrigation system. It's also great when we go away, as we don't need to worry if our growing crops will have enough water to keep them going. We made a whole video dedicated to the details of this irrigation setup, including how to replace the controllers and program them for the timed watering sessions. You can find the link in the description below. Thermometer. This is our maximum minimum thermometer, which is hung above our workbench. It faces north, so is not in direct sunlight, and is essential as it lets us know the temperature at any given time, as well as the maximum and minimum temperatures for the month, which we record throughout the year. It's lovely on a frosty spring morning to come into the greenhouse, check the temperature, and find a reading of 7 degrees centigrade, knowing that the plants have been protected overnight. As the years go by and we build up records, it's clear that this greenhouse design is highly effective at retaining heat due to its design and location, built into the hillside, as the temperature has only gone below freezing on a handful of days since it was completed. Coat hook. The coat hook is right by the front door to the greenhouse and saves having to throw jackets and jumpers worn on a cold day but no longer needed in the cosy greenhouse onto the workbench. Cheap, simple and effective. Job done. Clock. The clock hangs on the other side of the door and was absolutely essential when I was working. It meant that I could take my lunch break, soaking up the sun and thinning out crops, recharge my batteries, and yet still know when I was due to be back at my desk. Seat. There is a folding chair in the greenhouse which is very occasionally used. Reading up about a new irrigation controller is definitely best done from the comfort of a seat. Blackboard. The blackboard is great for chalking up the numbers of fruit we pick of certain crops, such as the peaches and figs. And on more challenging days, other important messages can be found on our greenhouse blackboards too. Garden tools. Already mentioned in passing, garden tools are essential in a greenhouse. Probably the most used is our trusty trowel. Other items include short and long hoes or weeding implements. Trucks, buckets and dippers are also well used. We don't keep a garden spade in here routinely, but one is sometimes used for digging larger holes and also a rake for spreading new compost. Compost supplies. These are usually burrowed in at the end of the winter. Sometimes they are stored inside until we find the time to spread the compost on the beds. If any is left, it's stored alongside our seed compost up by the workbench. By the end of spring, these bags will usually be finished, which is helpful as they tend to get in the way otherwise as the plants bush out. Brushes. We keep a couple of large and medium-sized brushes stored on a narrow shelf at the timber end of our greenhouse behind the fig. These are useful for brushing down the path. A small hand brush is used on the workbench as required and just hangs by the back door. We used to keep cloth rags for cleaning out pots, but the mice decided these made great bedding material, so they had to go. We just hang one cloth from a hook now. Waste bin. This waste bin is another essential item in the greenhouse for small items that cannot be recycled. It keeps the place organised and tidy and fits happily between the back door and the workbench. Perennial plants. We won't talk in detail here about the annual plants we grow in our greenhouse, as this is extremely well covered in our yearly updates. However, we will just mention the perennial plants. Amazingly, we were able to save a mature fig tree and small bay tree from the polytunnel we had in this exact same spot for 23 years. We decided to add a small peach tree to be trained along one of the bays in the back wall. On another bay, we planted a grapevine to replace the one we had been unable to save from our old polytunnel. Wires were added onto the walls for training purposes, stretched between robust metal vine eyes. The growing shoots on the plants were then loosely tied into the wires and adjusted over the years. Both grew incredibly quickly in the microclimate of the greenhouse. Both the peach and the grapevine started to crop just a couple of years after we planted them. A brilliant investment, a learning curve on the pruning techniques required, but all has worked well and we couldn't be happier. Outdoor pallet table. This pallet table might be just outside the greenhouse back door, but it's an essential bit of kit when it comes to hardening off young plants destined for the great outdoors, such as brassicas and bedding plants for the patio. It was so easy to make. Basically, it just consists of a couple of pallets on top of each other, one corner being balanced on a concrete block to adapt to the slope of the hill beneath. Our pallet table is absolutely bursting with plants by late spring and is a delight to behold. And that about rounds off this tour of our wonderful passive solar greenhouse. We hope you've enjoyed finding out more. If you have any tips for good greenhouse growing, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and happy greenhouse gardening all.